Okay, guys. I just like to talk about delaying our healing with reasons, excuses, and justifications. I've had many people comment on many videos over the months, and just saying where they're at on their journey. That you know, they're rooting for me, or they're not as strong as I am, or how good of a job I'm doing, or they've been wanting to detach. They're trying to quit drinking, they're trying to quit smoking, they're trying to quit this, they're trying to quit that. Look, I support everybody that's attempting and doing what they can to be personally responsible and disciplined, and courageous. You have to be courageous to do this and honest with yourself. This is my thing. Okay, the only reason I'm putting this stuff out there is not for acknowledgement, not for validation, not for anybody to pat me on the back, not for anybody to tell me good job, not to get friends on the internet, not to find support. None of that. I don't do it for any of that. None of that. Zero. I do it, first reason, for myself, because it helps me get these things out of me and reaffirm what I'm, the new person I'm becoming, with in knowing that I know everything and I don't need anything outside of me. So it helps me gain confidence in that manner. I'm doing it for my children, for when they're ready to heal. My one son is already, on deep in his path of healing. I do it for my kids and my nieces and nephews, and those children that, in my family, that hopefully will one day will, take this personal responsibility and shed their addictions. And then I do it for everyone out there, like I said, who contacts me and supports me through the comment sections, and shares where they're at, with their struggles. But what I want to say, I just want to reinforce this, guys. Of course, these things are hard to give up because, see, they're coping mechanisms, okay? They're coping mechanisms due to us being in environments, in societies, and in cultures that are non conducive to biological life. Again, we were forced into survival mode at birth, okay, because we were never meant to be yanked out by a doctor in this dead concreted hospital with bright lights and all of these things. The whole beginning of our existence as physical beings in this world was immediately set up to throw us into survival mode, okay? And look, I'm not even going to get into, the fact that whatever the stressors our mom was under, the food she took in, the things she took in her ears and eyes, the programming, the propaganda, the feelings she had, all of these things contribute to, your growing process in the womb. So, for generations and generations and generations, it's been nothing but toxicity before you're even born. So you're already set up. And guys, this is to get my point across, a mother who does crack or heroin while she is pregnant, the baby is born a crack baby. Okay, it's born needing those substances, and then the doctors will wean the baby off. Eventually, if they can, and sometimes they don't do it. But so, if you think what doesn't affect your mother and her environment when she's pregnant with you, and that's a whole setup to you being brought into this enslavement, you're not thinking correctly. You're not thinking critically. You're wishful thinking. You're living in fantasy land. All of these things. So these environments, these toxic, abusive, non-conducive to human life environments in which we are in the womb and then being nurtured by a parent who's toxic, okay, and not living correctly and not thinking correctly and is slave minded, okay, all of this stuff gets passed down genetically because our cells create the genes, or the gene expression, and these genes are like doors that are open and closed. It just depends on what the environment is, opens and closes these doors. It depends on what the psychological processes are, opens and closes these doors. Because if your belief system doesn't allow for these things, or it's nowhere in your belief system to have these things, you're not going to have it. Like, some cultures have no cancer whatsoever. Some cultures have no arthritis whatsoever. Some cultures have no this condition, but they'll have some other kind of condition where these diseases, being at disease, and these anxieties, and these physical manifestations of being in these toxic environments manifest in different cultures in different ways through gene expression. Now, if that, you got somebody that moves from this country that there is no cancer rates in, because cancer isn't even in their belief system, but yet they have other things, other conditions. If they move to a different society where cancer is the main expression of the toxicity in their environment and in their social structures, then they can get cancer because now they are open to it. It opens those genes up. So I'm going into this because we're trying to detach from these things. Now, that's fine. I've been on this detachment phase for about a year now. Actually, I quit smoking 3 years ago. Quit drinking almost 3 years ago. Quit smoking cigarettes almost 2 years ago. Quit smoking weed a few months ago. So it's a journey, right? It's a journey. But I just want to. A lot of people will think, oh, there's always tomorrow. They put more effort and time and energy and attention into constantly being comfortable, as opposed to their healing, to constantly, every time they feel uncomfortable, getting a dopamine hit and going back to their brain fart, to their comfortability, to their dopamine hits, to their what is known to them. Again, because healed people who love and care and trust themselves and put themselves first, and they're not going to intentionally toxify themselves. The only reason, these are all learned habits, and the only reason they were learned is because, again, we were brought into toxic, abusive environments, having festered 9 months in a toxic womb, right? And then we come out, we're stripped out of our mom by a stranger, passed around to strangers, given medical interventions immediately, highly toxic metals placed into our bodies. A lot of women in the United States, I'd say the majority of women in the United States, don't even breastfeed. So they're given straight up chemical formulas and nasty shit to their children right off the bat. So, everything in this environment is set up for your enslavement. And so what we're battling by detaching from these things is this is how strong this human spirit is, our souls are, is that, and how unbelievably advanced and biologically amazing our bodies are at being able to, no matter how much damage we do to them, to a certain extent, can renew. Completely renew. So, this ego in these systems of enslavement, in these constructs, whether it's family constructs, social constructs, whatever kind of construct you want to think, that these mind boxes, these thought boxes, that's what we're fighting against, because those things are like cancers. They've been killing us slowly, diseasing us, tearing us down, destroying our cells, destroying our natural biological functioning, destroying our birthright, destroying our wholeness, ever since the day we were born. And so, to be able to think critically in a world of groupthink and mob mentality, and to be able to, give up these things, these dopamine hits, these addictions, is absolutely an amazing thing to be able to do. And that's why it's the hardest thing ever to do, because these programs and habits and addictions were imbued in us since birth, since prior to birth. So this takes everything you have. And I guess where I'm getting to, what I wanted to get to in this video is, people think they have, I can do it tomorrow. And they just, that's fine. You don't want to stress yourself. You don't want to overburden yourself. You don't want to abuse, make yourself do these things in abusive manners. But you also can't sit here with a 5-year plan on your healing and think, oh, you got another 5 years to heal. Because, guys, again, we are, economies crash all the time. And when they crash, it's not pretty. That means supply lines shut down. That means the grocery stores shut down. That means the grid shuts down. There's no more communications. There's no more shopping. There's no more distractions. There's the TV's gone. The phones are gone. There's no more entertainment. There's no more of that. So you got to think of that, and they could do this at any time, at any time, as soon as they want to, because they're back there, they got all their plans, they got all the narration and the scripts out. They're waiting for the exact day that falls in line to power the gematria and the energy of all this shit. So they already know when this shit's going down. They already know what they're going to do. So we're just sitting here playing Russian roulette every day. We focus on being comfortable and ingesting toxins and poisons because we deserve it, and breaking these old habits and programs, and quit relying on the illusion of safety from these authority figures and these controllers and these abusive manipulators. So we're really playing Russian roulette, and I just want to show you this right here. I don't know how this is going to come out on the video, but and if you've ever seen this before, but I would definitely check it out. You can pause it and read the thing if you want to search this on your own. It's funny, but when you think I'm going to show this clip, and then we're going to go over it, because it's extremely scary if you're not healed prior to them pulling the plug on everything. Because think about this, you're not going to have access to your if you're relying on pharmaceuticals for to relieve your anxiety or your schizophrenia or your any kind of mental health problem or physical manifestation of disease and discomfort. If you're relying on pharmaceuticals and they shut the grid down, you can't get your what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And this is the kind of stuff that's how people are going to act. So, that is how there's almost 400 million people just in the United States alone. There's probably half of those people are in that type of mindset. At least I'd say, so at least 200 million people. Now, can you imagine when they shut the grid down, the economy crashes, your dollar bill, it take $1,000 to buy a loaf of bread. But they shut the grid down, all supply line is shut down, and people don't have access to food. This is how you're going to have 200 million people at least reacting like this, thinking they're going to die within the first day of their food running out. And a lot of people, let's say most people have a few days worth of food in their fridge and in their pantry to eat, right? After those few days, it's going to be complete chaos. Complete chaos, guys. You're going to have millions upon millions, tens and hundreds of millions of people walking around freaking out in all kinds of different ways. And see, in the comments section on that video, people think it's hilarious. They're like, yeah, I get crazy too when I don't eat, or yeah, I get, hangry. They call it hangry. We've made a joke of our drug addiction. That's a drug addiction, guys. That is not any kind of normal behavior. That girl didn't eat for 10 hours or a day or whatever it was. That is a drug addiction. The reason she feels like that is not because her body is hungry. It's because of the parasites. It's because of the habits and programming and the deep desire for it to be comfortable. She was so uncomfortable. She wanted something to eat, so this is no joke. And then, like, for the thousands of people that leave comments on these types of videos and go and laugh and think it's funny and reinforce and say, yeah, that's how I get when I'm hungry too, like it's a joke. Like this is the slave-minded, your mind in a box, slave-minded thinking I'm talking about. Like, you're not even questioning why you feel like that. Like, that's worse than that's just as bad as the worst heroin addict, crack addict, anything else that's fiending for that drug. That is the exact same thing. There is zero difference there. Zero difference. And to sit there and you recognize, well, that's how I get when I'm hungry. I get crazy too. I can't think, and I get irritable, and I get mad, and I can't be around people, and I want to kill somebody, and and think that and not think any deeper than that. Like, well, why is that? I'm obviously not going to die. I'm obviously not going, it's not hurting me. I should probably not eat for the next 2 days because my body needs to rest, a break to rest and recover from all the toxins and poisons I'm ingesting. But nobody thinks like that. They just are group thinking inside of this control mechanism that the abusive manipulators have put you under. And you think it's normal. You think it's normal to fiend for coffee in the morning. And that's the only way you can get going. That is a severe issue that needs to be addressed. That is not normal. That is not good. Caffeine is a drug, guys. All of this stuff is drugs. They're all chemicals. And to fiend for that is not how we were not naturally biologically born like that. That is not organic. That is trained behavior. That is things that are triggered by parasites that live inside of your body that you've been feeding and manifesting and growing and festering for decades. That is habits and programs that were purposely put on you, to keep you as a consummate consumer, to keep you in that hamster wheel of consumption, to keep you having to work to support these addictions and these habits. It's all a circle, and until you break free from that circle and realize that, wait a minute, the answer is not to work more. The answer is not to save my money. The answer is not to attain this or attain that. The answer is not, yoga. The answer is not, no, it's to detach. It's to detach completely and face these things and think deeply on them. Not think, oh yeah, I'm like that too because I'm hypoglycemic and I have to eat every 3 hours. That's the most ludicrous thing in the world to think. I mean, that is just, that is not how your body works, guys. You do not have hypoglycemia just because you're unfortunate and this, or it runs in your genes and this is just the way it is. And now for the rest of your life, you have to put something in your mouth every 3 hours to keep your sugar levels. No, you need to give your body a break and it will level out. You're going to go through a hard fucking detox when you do, and a hard fucking withdrawal when you do, but after a few days your body's going to go and it's going to level itself out and heal. These are all signs of being severely toxic, guys. That means if you have these issues, skin issues, health issue, mental health issues, physical manifestations of disease and discomfort, these are all symptoms of being highly toxic inside. And if you were just continue to toxify yourself, what's happening is, well, that doesn't make sense because every time I put this stuff in my mouth, I feel better. You feel better for an instant. It's a drug, guys. Just like any drug, it works the same way. You feel better just for a short period of time, and then you need it again. You need it because your body you have trained your body to run off these extremely toxic chemicals. It's as simple as that. So, think about that. If they press the button and shut everything down tomorrow, how are you going to react? You're going to be forced into facing your healing. Are you going to flip out because you don't have coffee? Because you don't have caffeine? Because you don't have your sugary Monster energy drinks? Are you going to flip out because you only have 2 weeks left of your anxiety medication? Are you going to flip out because you can no longer get on your phone and distract yourself and watch your TV programs and TV shows? Are you going to freak out because there's no more lights at night and everything, and if you don't have any candles, there's zero light at night? Are you going to freak out because you can't tune in to politics and entertainment? These are things to think about. I mean, how highly addicted are you to how many different things outside of yourself? Because not only them shutting the economy down, but the amount of people, the millions of people that go homeless every year, they don't talk about it. They don't report on this. Homeless people disappear constantly from off the streets. But the millions of people just in America that go homeless every year, that were living a normal, what do they call those people? Not poor, not rich, but middle class lifestyle. They were renting a house or had a mortgage. They were mortgaged to the hilt. They had a couple cars. Both the husband and wife worked, and then something happened. Something medically happened to the family. One of the parents lost a job. Whatever happened, all of a sudden they're homeless. They're out on the streets. They lost everything. There's no money in their pockets. There's no savings. They're actually in debt. They have debt collectors coming after them. They can't afford a phone anymore. All of these things. And then so you either are going to take personal responsibility to be disciplined and courageous and honest with yourself now, or you're going to delay the inevitable, because otherwise you're just hoping that you're going to die before you ever have to face these uncomfortable truths, and that you'll never have to face them, and you can just keep, hitting your dopamine all day, every day, from the time you wake up to the time you pass out. And, that's just how you're going to live your life, and you're living in survival mode. So it's coming to terms with these things, and again, not being hard. If you're taking these steps and your main focus every single day is your healing and putting your attention on yourself and withdrawing and detaching from these things, great, good for you. I'm not beating you up. I'm not, saying shame on you, guilty you. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, for those of you who think that this is a game, or that, is this real, or, thinking that you're just always, these systems are always going to be here for you to enjoy and to take your mind off what's true and what the true reality is, and not this illusion that you live in the breads and circuses that you live in. It's going to be gone one day, and I don't know if you're hoping you're dead before then, or what, but it's more than likely coming sooner rather than later, guys. I mean, I'd say within the next few years, most definitely. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no way all of these systems that we live under are being propped up, like unbelievably propped up right now, like with no foundation for them. They're just like, the only reason it even exists or keeps on going is because everybody just blindly worships and bows down and obeys these authority figures that tell them everything's okay. Just keep on playing. Just keep on keeping on. Don't think about it. We're going to take care of things for you guys. Everything's going to be all right. You just have to do what we say and don't worry about anything, and we got it handled. And that's the only reason these things exist, is because people are propping these things up with their belief and with their support, through their attention and their worship and their fear and their desire and their lack and their worry. So these systems are definitely the more people are waking up and taking personal responsibility, being disciplined, being courageous and honest, the quicker these systems are going to crash. So, because these systems only exist because of our attention we give them. So the more people that pull their attention away from them, the more their foundations are shaking, and they're just going to fall apart. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not fear mongering. I'm just looking at reality of what things are. I can't be $10,000 in debt and expect it not to catch up to me. I can keep on running from it and doing whatever I can do to survive, but it's a complete survival mode. Just like a country cannot be $30 trillion in debt and think, oh, everything's okay. We're just going to manipulate the markets and play here and play there and pull our cards over here, and everything works because they're not going to pull back from our monetary system because their system relies on us and we're all tied in together. And it's not like that, guys. It's all horseshit. It's all controlled opposition. It's all meant to bamboozle and keep you wrapped up in the circus of the enslavement. So yeah, just things to think about. I'm going to be doing some more videos here soon, because my mind is really going towards like all the distractions and all of the things that are placed there. Because see, right now what they've been doing is right now they're unleashing everything, all knowledge, superfluous knowledge, everything. They're unleashing it all. They're letting it all out there. And this is the one sign that is huge for the reset, is that the only reason they're doing that is to prevent an uprising before they can reset humanity. The only reason to do that is to pull out all the stops for distraction and entertainment, and to keep people focused everywhere else except for in here. So that's why they're allowing, and you're like, oh, they don't allow it, they don't allow the truth out. Yes, they do. They allow it all out. Now they play games again through controlled opposition. They, I'm highly censored of all a lot of channels are highly censored that are speaking truth. But, again, it's to make you think that, oh, they don't want me to know about this. That's it. Look, oh, this is the truth. They don't want me to know. They're censoring this channel. Oh. No, they're playing games, guys. It's all through algorithms, through supercomputers. It's all scripted. You're not thinking ahead of this. You're not being the smart guy by, subscribing to 30 different YouTube channels on 30 different subjects of rabbit holes of conspiracies. And I don't call them conspiracy theories, because a theory means it's not true. They're actual conspiracies, and they're all true and they're all valid. But to get lost in that endless search and for knowledge in those endless rabbit holes, is what they're doing is they're gatekeeping you into wherever they can get you to keep your attention, and you worshiping whatever that is outside of you, and not focusing on you, not focusing on you reclaiming your authority and healing, becoming whole again, and realizing that you have all the knowledge, you are all knowing, you are all encompassing, you need nothing outside of you. And that's what they don't want you to recognize. They don't want you to admit that. They don't want you to recognize that. They want that thought to be the craziest thing in the world, and for people who think like that to be labeled as mentally ill and having mental disorders, and being a threat to society and to themselves, and a danger, and all of this stuff. So yeah, you got to think for yourself. You have to think deeply. You have to get to the core of the issue. If you need medication to control your anxiety, I suggest you start thinking very deeply about why you are having your anxiety, not why you need medication. Oh, because look, without guys, if you haven't researched the placebo effect, then you are not understanding what's going on. We live in an illusion that is taking advantage of you through the medical industry, the food industry, the government, all forms of industry, all forms of control, whether it be religion, science, it doesn't matter. Anything outside yourself, if you're looking for answers and you're relying on somebody else, or you're relying on a pill, or you're relying on nutrition, or you're relying on any of this shit, it's all an illusion. 100% an illusion. So just a quick video, take care of yourselves, guys. Nobody else will.